So let's talk about the Oxford Foundry at the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom having the warm handshake with FMDQ Private Markets Limited, which is one of the arm of FMDQ Group PLC. They launched a global partnership to accelerate the growth of Nigeria's startups ecosystem and nurture a future generation of young Nigerian leaders in entrepreneurship through knowledge, exchange, and collaboration. Giving us more facts behind this global handshake is Kaodi Ugoji. She is the Group CEO at FMDQ Group. Great to have you this evening, Kaodi. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, Boson. And that's Group COO, please.
Yes, Group C, yes. Group CEO, I beg your pardon, sorry, Group Chief Operating Officer. I got to get a query for giving that title to you. But again, you're heading in that direction somewhat. Don't worry. That's the conversation. But let's just talk about this Private Markets Limited and Oxford Foundry. Tell me about this partnership in the main.
Okay, thank you, Boson. So FMDQ Private Markets is the newest arm subsidiary of FMDQ and of FMDQ Group, where we already have FMDQ Exchange, FMDQ Clear, and FMDQ Depository across the capital markets. FMDQ Private Market was incorporated to cater to the one other sector that we felt was underserved, and that is the private companies. And when we look at the private companies, we see that in order for us to grow and develop in Nigeria like we would like to, we would need a lot of private companies to come into the spheres of power, infrastructure, and things like that. And we felt that we need to ensure, firstly, that these private companies have access to the capital market so that they can raise capital to embark on some of these developmental projects. But speaking in early this year, the Central Bank of Nigeria gave its recognition to FMDQ Private Markets as a platform for private companies' securities. And that pretty much means that the pension fund administrators now have access to this market because it's under the governance of a regulator. And this gives them access to diverse and more profitable investments to invest their pensions in. When we speak to this partnership specifically, what we're looking to do is to bring in the startups, the young startup companies, young Nigerians that are looking to embark, on a journey towards building a business. Now, if I just take a step back to FMDQ Private Markets, FMDQ Private Market caters to three segments in the market. We have the cradle board, which is for the very young budding companies, less than 50 million in size and just looking to set up and to grow. We have the growth board for the medium-sized, and then we have the main board for the big and the large-sized entities. So we'll focus a bit here on the startups, and that's really what this partnership is about. Oxford Foundry is the entrepreneurship center for University of Oxford. And they have an accelerator program called Elevate that they currently run, which has seen 32 venture companies set up, funded, and have grown to over 150 million pounds in value now. So basically, they have nurtured this company from when they were set up, and they have provided them with the necessary skills, the mentorship and the structure that they require to access capital and grow. Oxford Foundry was set up about just under 4 years ago by top entrepreneurs in the market. So obviously, this is something that is very seasoned. Obviously, as well, looking at the networks of the University of Oxford, we can tell that there's a lot to benefit from this partnership in terms of expertise, in terms of networks, in terms of the curriculum development for some of the programs that FMDQ Private Markets and Oxford Foundry will embark on.
Okay, so
that's really the
so
scope
in terms of what you will, Kaodi, just a quick one. In terms of what the partnership and the bespoke programs under this partnership will be, who gets what if I have this small business below 50 million? Am I off to the UK? Am I getting some pound sterlings in my DOM account? How will it work?
Okay, so really the program will be implemented in 3 phases. You have the upskill, which is where these young these entrepreneurs and this startup and young business leaders would come in and be trained. They were giving them the basic trainings required to run a company and to have a sustainable company. Then you get to the second stage, which is the grow phase. And at this phase, that is where you find shared practices, knowledge transfer from the UK. So because they're being exposed to the angel investors in the UK, they have access to the knowledge and experiences of these investors in the UK, coming here to show them the ropes on how to run this business. And then you have the last stage, which is the accelerate, which is where an Oxford FMDQ startup boot camp is going to be run to basically bring these. It's the first of its kind for both Oxford Foundry and FMDQ Private Markets. And this startup camp would bring these entrepreneurs together and groom them and give them the necessary mentorships, networks, and everything that they need to set up their business. What is the aim of all of this? When a company is well structured, when a company has the right frameworks in place, the right systems to support it, you would attract capital. So at the end of the day, all of this is being put in place to ensure that these companies can access the capital markets, attract capital, both local and international. And you can see how some of these programs have been successful. Flutterwave, Paystack. You've seen how some of them have have garnered investors from across the world, and that's really what we're trying to do for young Nigerians, to help them give them the exposure that is required for them to take their business global.
Kaodi Ugoji, Group CEO, FMDQ Group, is never too late to start. So I'll be thinking very seriously about what you talked about. Thank you so much for your time, and we wish you all the best with a handshake between FMDQ Group and the Oxford University. Thank you so much. We wish you folks all the best.